Brad is taking over Wiggins America, bringing you everything you need to know from the weekend.
Well, Ryan, I got some bad news. I don't have the whip sound effect.
That's okay.
That's a bummer.
We don't have to have the whip today.
I'll just go whoosh.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So the first thing, were you paying attention to any of the primaries over the weekend?
Heck yeah.
And were you paying attention to any of the caucuses over the weekend?
Yes, indeed. One was local.
So one of the local caucuses, who won that?
Trump.
Trump won. I didn't get to see the actual results because to me it's like Trump caucus in Missouri.
Yeah, they were a little hard to find. You had to watch local news more than national to find that.
But I feel like that's because it was pretty much a foregone conclusion.
It was. Yeah, everybody's like, no duh.
But Republican challenger to Donald Trump, Nikki Haley, put her first W on the board this weekend.
Where was that, Brad?
Oh, that'd be Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia. She won that, meaning she secured 19 delegates.
So let me ask you, is Nikki Haley winning Washington, D.C. better for her because she has a W on the board or worse overall for her?
Well, I would think this year it plays poorly for her. Yeah. Because that means that she's in with the quote-unquote in crowd. It makes her look like the swamp creature that Donald Trump is trying to paint her as. Donald Trump won D.C. in 2020, but that's because there was nobody else running. Mm-hmm. Do you know who won in 2015, I guess it would have been?
The primary for the Republicans?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess Marco
third.
Rubio?
Rubio won. Do you know who finished second?
Cruz.
John Kasich.
Oh, gosh, no. I wouldn't have guessed that.
So John Kasich won that. And then in 2020, Joe Biden won the District of Columbia with 92% of the vote. So that, Republican stronghold. The article here says that there's only like 23,000 registered Republicans in the entire district.
Yeah, you don't have any of them. They're all swamp. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw that this weekend is, oh, you don't even have to write the story.
No.
Everybody's going to think the same thing.
But not having to write the story didn't stop Donald Trump from not writing writing the story.
Congratulations to Nikki Haley.
Yeah, this is the congratulations. Congratulating her on being named Queen of the Swamp by lobbyists and D.C. insiders that want to protect the failed status quo.
She's probably not. I mean, he's probably not wrong. The number of registered Republicans in D.C. probably are all political animals of one kind or another.
Sure.
It's not just your random shop owner.
Yeah.
That might be the bluest area in the United States.
Yeah, which is really unfortunate.
That's terrible. That's not good for us.
Okay. So that's that story.
Okay.
Okay, the second story. This past Sunday marked the anniversary of, I think it's the 59th anniversary of Bloody Sunday. And to mark that anniversary, Merrick Garland went to the Tabernacle Baptist Church in Selma, Alabama to mark this. And he had some things to say.
The right to vote is still under attack. And that is why the Justice Department is fighting back. That is why one of the first things I did when I came into office was to double the size of the voting section of the Civil Rights Division. That is why we are challenging efforts by states and jurisdictions to implement discriminatory, burdensome, and unnecessary restrictions on access to the ballot, including those related to mail-in voting, the use of drop boxes, and voter ID requirements. That is why we are working to block the adoption of discriminatory redistricting plans that dilute the vote of black voters and other voters of color.
Okay, so he named a couple things there. He says the right to vote is still under attack, and he's like they're going after the black voters by trying to keep them from voting by instituting these things. He says that their right to vote is under threat from gerrymandering. Now, I don't know. You live in Illinois. Have you paid attention to how they draw maps in Illinois?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's gerrymandering. Now, Illinois is that Republican stronghold, right?
Well, thank God he's going to get the Attorney General of the United States, who's a Democrat, is going to come after Illinois.
Yeah, tell them, hey, stop drawing these weird-shaped districts. So gerrymandering to me is a wash. But the one that really always gets me, and he says this is meant to keep black voters from voting, is the pushback against a voter ID law. He's like, that's meant to keep black people from voting. My question, and I always have to ask this question, what are you saying about black voters then?
You are a racist is what you are.
Yeah.
Because you're assuming you are basically belittling people based on their skin color, in this case black, and saying you cannot get an ID on your own. You are saying you are stupid, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you can't get an ID. You don't know how to use the internet. You don't know where the DMV is. You don't know any of these things, and you need my help to keep that from keeping you from voting. Now, you know who Ami Horowitz is he does these man on the street videos, and he did one where he went to Berkeley or someplace like that.
That is the best video regarding this topic I have ever seen.
And then he went to Harlem, and he went there, and he asked them the same question. So he's like, are voter IDs laws racist? And they're like, yeah. Well, he's like, why are they racist? He's like, well, a black person may not have access or even know
He's talking to white liberals.
White liberals on this college campus. They may not know where this is, and they don't know how to get an ID and all this other stuff. And then he goes to Harlem. He's like, hey, do you guys know where the voter ID or where the DMV is? Yeah. Do you have an ID? And she's like, I got mine right here. You know, they all look at him like,
are you incapable of getting an ID based on your skin color?
They all look at him like he's absolutely like, what a stupid question. And he's like, I'm just doing a video, ma'am. You know? Yeah. So if you ever get a chance to, don't do it now because we're doing the show, but if you get a chance, go watch that video from Ami Horowitz, Horowitz, I think is how you spell his last name. It's a great video. But I call it the soft, and I'm not the only one that calls it this, but the soft bigotry of low expectations. You think that a group of people are too stupid to be able to do something that other groups of people can. Voter ID laws are not racist. Saying that they're racist is racist.
Yeah, and gerrymandering, by the way, since that was the other topic he brought up, you're right in that this is not a Republican states do this and Democrat states don't. Do you think... I mean, honestly, and I'm talking to people on the right and the left, anybody, especially the left. Do you think that if all of a sudden in this coming election that, let's say black males mainly, because that's the polling is suggesting, let's say, and this isn't going to happen, but let's say black males in 2024 decide overwhelmingly to vote Republican. Do you think that gerrymandering would not reflect that in Democrat states? Because that's what Merrick Garland is saying, that this is a racist practice. It is completely a political practice.
Yes.
It has no bearing on race, except that sometimes certain racial groups vote more for one party than the other. But if that switched, those parties would switch. That is all that matters, is the party affiliation. It does not matter what racial makeup they are.
The only concern that they have, the only color they're concerned with in gerrymandering is the color of the district, blue or red.
Blue or red, that is it. Well, Brad, we have reached the end of this hour, so thank you for doing Wiggins America.